It's getting late. Where to now?
I wish you all a journey that is free of illness. You came at a good time. There is something you can help me with. According to my patient records, there are a few that haven't come for their follow-up visits. It happens from time to time, but never as regularly as this. I'm a bit concerned. Have you heard of the Complex Illness Mutual Aid Society? I agree. Generally speaking, mutual aid societies like these allow patients to share their experiences and support each other. It's a way of countering all the negative emotional effects of being ill. But there might be more to this society than that. I've got a few patients who have started refusing treatment since joining the society. It certainly makes you wonder. The most suspicious part is that no matter how much I ask, no one's ever willing to tell me anything about it. And that's where you might be able to help. It sounds dangerous, but what I want you to do is actually very simple. Investigate this so-called mutual aid society and find out what exactly they're up to. If I find out they're preventing me from doing my job, or if they're bringing harm to my patients, I won't just sit on the sidelines. Can I entrust you with this task? This little clinic has huge numbers of patients to deal with every day. If I didn't have you here to help me out, I wouldn't be able to focus on giving them quality care. Good luck. I'll be sure to thank you properly when you're back.
You. I've seen you in the clinic. You run errands for Natasha, right? Your cover? What are you talking about? Let me guess. Natasha wants you to persuade me to go back for a follow-up visit, right? What's the use? I'm terminal. Life will be over before I know it. Of course not. I read it in a book. Every book I read has descriptions that match my symptoms exactly. I can diagnose myself with a dozen incurable diseases before I get halfway through. For people in my situation, a follow-up visit is just a waste of time and money. Not to mention medicine. Mutual aid, what now? What are you talking about? What else is there to say? Natasha was seeing me free of charge. She said I could keep a tab running for as long as I liked, then pay it back when I had the opportunity. I guess I'm too proud. You think I need you to tell me? Don't try and persuade me. I've already thought this through. Dr. Vash never charged me anything either. Natasha's great, but Vash was always my number one. Natasha's brother, they both used to practice medicine back in Rivertown. I heard he was a top student from the Overworld Medical Academy. Bellabog's main hospital wanted him. I've no idea what convinced him to set up down here. A kind heart, maybe. What do you mean? Dr. Vash was a people's doctor. He handed out free medicine. He even followed up with detailed questions on how he felt. The underworld is always short on medical resources. They say that Dr. Vash made all his own medicine himself. You think I don't want to? I heard that he passed away. I should keep my voice down. Don't go telling anyone else about this next bit. I heard that Natasha had something to do with Dr. Vash's death. They say she was jealous that her brother had stolen her patients, so she... It's just something people were saying. I don't think Dr. Natasha could do something like that. Forget I said anything. Since Dr. Natasha sent you over specially, I'll do her a favor. I'll go to the clinic for my follow-up a little later. Bye for now.
Avoiding a follow-up visit due to money issues. I should find another patient to talk to.
What was that? Oh, you'll have to be louder. My ears aren't what they used to be. Everything's muffled. Ah! A follow-up visit. Is that what you're asking about? Natasha's a wonderful girl. She always gives me a thorough checkup. But at this age, it's rather a lot to bear. Even if they could cure me. I'm sure I wouldn't be around for long. I don't want to waste anyone's time. Not for youngsters like yourself. When you get to my time of life, good health is a bit of a luxury, I'm afraid. My husband had the same illness as me, but he never touched the medicine. He wanted to make sure I had enough. Then, one day, he said he needed to take care of some things at the mine. He never came back. He was forever saying he wanted to go before I did. Ah, selfish old fool. I miss him. Now that he's gone, who cares how long I stick around? You're not wrong, I suppose. That girl certainly spares me no effort. But I always feel like I'm a burden to her. Okay, you win. It's off for another follow-up visit with Dr. Natasha, I suppose. Did you want to say something else? Yeah, my ears are terrible. Virtual who? All right, I heard you. Do you have to shout? No, I've never heard of any mutual aid society.
Avoiding a follow-up visit because of her husband. I should find another patient to talk to.
Why haven't I gone for my follow-up visit? Are you a patient too, or did Dr. Natasha send you over? Who else would care about people like me? I don't need Dr. Natasha's help now. Tell her to save her worries and medicine for other people. A dispute? No, no. She's the only kind-hearted doctor in the underworld. I just don't really approve of her methods, that's all. Too idealistic and no real efficacy. She tries to save everyone, which means she can't save anyone. In the end, it's the patients who suffer, and she just tires herself out. Miners like me don't have time for lengthy treatments. If I can't take something and get right back to work, I may as well lie down and wait for death to come knocking. Did you, know Dr. Vash? His wonder medicine is cheap, and the results are immediate. You just need to, be willing to, take a little risk. Dr. Vash's medicine is different. Lots of people make a full recovery after taking it, but some get worse. And the unlucky ones check out early. Even knowing the risk, most people fight tooth and nail to get hold of the medicine. You know why? You're smarter than you look. When life forces you to the edge, you'll throw yourself at any opportunity, even if it means risking it all. For people like us, a slow and torturous treatment is the same as a death sentence. If it's between that and a quick result, we'll take the latter. Forget it. Why am I telling you all this? Dr. Vash is dead anyway. What? Now you're interested in the wonder medicine? Listen up. The Complex Illness Mutual Aid Society is still selling that medicine. I can tell you where they trade, but there's a rule. You must not tell any of this to Dr. Natasha. You hear? If you break the rule, you'll face the consequences. Here, take this. It's the address. A final warning. Do not reveal this information to Natasha.
I know where to find the wonder medicine. What should I do next? That patient didn't want me to tell Natasha about this. Should I listen to him?
Hey, where do you think you're going? In the Fragmentum? Give me a break. You're the same as everyone else that comes through here. If you want medicine, you don't need to go any further. You talk to me. And we only take cash. This ain't a charity. The Mutual Aid Society sets the price. It might be different from Dr. Vash and his handouts, but it's a darn sight cheaper than that clinic woman's medicine. Well, are you buying or not? Spit it out. I don't have time for chit-chat. Wait a minute. Your clothes. Are you friends with that doctor woman? I've seen you at the clinic before. I know it. Get lost, now. If you're a friend of that woman, then you're not welcome here. Shop's closed today. No customers.
Wait. What about our medicine? We've been waiting for ages.
Get lost, all of you. Save your breath and come back some other time.
That medicine seller sure closed.
Get lost, now.
Bring forth the gleam of old blades.
should leave. If you...
This haven of memories. Every time, every moment is like a thorned rose.
I wish you all a journey that is free of illness. So the Mutual Aid Society found Vash's research results, and now they're selling this so-called wonder medicine to patients? Any organization doing something like this is interested in more than just mutual aid. I'm not surprised. They'll know that I'm completely against them using this wonder medicine. What Vash left behind is nothing more than reagents and experimental byproducts. The word medicine doesn't apply here. I warned the patients countless times, but it seems like they had their heads in the sand all along. No wonder they kept the Mutual Aid Society a secret from me. I'm guessing the patients you met weren't exactly singing my praises, which is why you tracked the dealer down and made inquiries first. I don't blame you. After everything you heard, I'm grateful you came back to find me. Your trust is important to me. If you're curious about Vash's wonder medicine, you should ask some of the patients in the clinic. See what they have to say about the effects.
Some people say that Dr. Vash was a saint who came from the overworld to help those in need. I don't buy it. People's doctor, that's just what people who've bought into the myth like to say. Vash used to distribute free medicine all the time, but he couldn't have cared less about the people taking the medicine. The hard truth is that we were just his test subjects. It didn't matter if the medicine worked or not. What mattered was having a constant stream of willing lab rats. Of course, I can't control what anyone else thinks. That's just how I see it.
The medicine Vash left behind? That stuff... Can you even call it medicine? I know Dr. Natasha's here, but I have to tell it like it is. Vash had zero medical ethics. He didn't deserve the title doctor. He may have had the capability, but he didn't use it to help anyone. Whenever I went to see him, he never even asked about my illness. He just prescribed me his so-called wonder medicine. If it were you, would you have taken that medicine?
I wish you all a journey that is free of illness. I still haven't worked out how to convey it to you. The issues surrounding Vash. My relationship with him. The things he's done in the underworld. It's a long story. I'm guessing you've heard a lot of different opinions on Vash. What do you make of him? I want you to go and visit another patient, a victim of the wonder medicine. I want you to see the real consequences of abusing that medicine. Once you've understood her situation, come back and tell me what you think. After that, I want to ask for your help again.
Who are you?
Who? And who am I? Where's my husband? And where's my child? Where are they? You know where they are, right? You don't know. They don't know. Nobody knows. Where? Where did they go?
Come over here, child. It's best to leave that poor lady in peace. Let me explain. That poor lady. Both her husband and child became ill and passed away. Yes, before her family passed away, she was a carefree young woman. Her husband and child caught a mysterious illness. The symptoms weren't grave, but their livelihood was certainly impacted. In order to try and rid themselves of the ailment once and for all, they bought some kind of wonder medicine. Who would have thought their condition would deteriorate so rapidly after they began using it? The two began to suffer terribly, such that death became a blessing. It wasn't long before they departed this world, one after the other. From that moment on, she became as you see her now. If Dr. Natasha hadn't taken her under her wing, well, it doesn't bear thinking about. And yet, what more could have been done? They were warned about the medicine. They were told about the risks. They chose to roll the dice. Talking about it tires me out. At least my husband and I are able to help her where we can. I just hope that one day she can lead a normal life again.
Are you hurt? Let me take a look. Did you speak to her? By the look on your face, I'm assuming you've come to understand the wonder medicine all too well. Yeah. Be it Vash or the Mutual Aid Society, forces like that can take full advantage of the typical underworld state of mind. Let me tell you a story. There was once a brilliant overworld doctor with unmatched pharmaceutical skill. The doctor was set on developing a medicine that would steel the human body against the cold. He named his research project Blizzard Immunity. But his research met with obstruction time and time again, the biggest factor being a lack of test subjects. Tampering with the human immune system carries huge risk, and nobody in the overworld was willing to submit themselves to such experiments. As such, the doctor got in touch with his sister in the underworld, claiming that he wanted to support the medical effort below ground. Naturally, his sister was overjoyed. After all, as far as medicine was concerned, her brother had always been the standard she'd strive to attain. She brought her brother underground and entrusted him with her clinic and laboratory. I think you know what comes next. Issuing free medicine to the needy was just Vash's way of conducting experiments on his test subjects. On some level, his reagents were able to alleviate the patient's suffering, but nothing more. They would forget their pain for a while and neglect their regular treatment plans. The result? Patients with mild illness would attribute their recovery to the so-called wonder medicine, while patients with serious illness would quickly deteriorate, and sometimes die. I cannot accept that their fate was simply the result of misfortune or risk. No true doctor would accept that. That's why I want you to help me recover all the wonder medicine. Are you willing to take on this assignment? Thank you. This will be hard for the people that have come to rely on the wonder medicine, but it's up to us to remove this false hope. You mustn't hesitate. Recover every last reagent that Vash left behind. I'll take responsibility for the consequences. Don't worry about that. Go. I'll be waiting for the good news.
Stop right there. No one's allowed up ahead. Oh, playing the hero, are we? Is this a stick-up? Wait a minute, you're that clinic woman's lackey, aren't you? Did you think the Mutual Aid Society didn't have its own intel? She's after our medicine and sent you here to smash the place, right? Men, look lively and send this idiot packing already.
Step up, let's see ya.
Stay in step. Dreams do come true.
Got the defense? Answer me.
Again? On the still waters of Oblivion.
Did the rhythm get messed up?
I weep for the departed. Dusk's reign, it too shall fall. Another blood debt repaid.
Well, look who we have here. Your reputation precedes you, outsider. I didn't take you for a bandit and a thief. You listen here. I'm the president of the Complex Illness Mutual Aid Society. The medicine we hold here is lifeblood for many of our members. Are you sure you want to deprive them of that? Those poor patients. Along comes a life-saving wonder medicine, only to be snatched away by a shameless bandit like you. The underworld is full of sickness. What would happen if we left it all to that clinic to treat? My Mutual Aid Society has relieved that doctor of patients at the end of the road. Shouldn't she be thanking me? Seems like you are quite bent on dismantling our operations, aren't you? Fine. Seeing as you came all this way, it'd be rude not to give you the opportunity. Men, seize the medicine thief.
Nice like a good brute, my friends. Indulge yourself.
Take your positions. Let's improvise.
Got the defense. Just.
I weep for the departed. It tis my fall.
Blast it! What did we ever do to you? Why are you taking away our moneymaker?
Moneymaker? So you admit it then? You're not in this to save lives, you're in it to get rich.
What are you doing here? Oh, as if we didn't have enough trouble already.
Selling fake medicine with false kindness. You should have expected trouble to find you sooner or later. I have a responsibility to protect the well-being of my patients. Or to put it another way, I must eradicate any and all threats to them.
You can't save everyone. The underworld is teeming with sickness. How could you possibly pull it off?
You're right. I can't save everyone alone. But if I must, I would sacrifice food and sleep to treat them. The debt that Vash owes to the underworld rests with me. All I can do is help everyone to the best of my ability. To the very end.
So stubborn. In that sense, you're no different from your crazy brother.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. Your actions today have saved many underworld families. I'll find a way to dispose of Vash's leftover reagents. Next time the Mutual Aid Society wants to whip up a quack cure, they'll be out of luck. Let's go back to town. I still owe those patients an explanation.
This haven of memories. Every touch, every moment is like a thorned rose.
Uh-oh. It looks like the patients have surrounded Natasha. Let's hear what they're saying.
What are you saying, Doctor? The wonder medicine is out of supply?
Correct. That medicine is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Wildfire has cut off the supply chain. Your ailments need rational, scientific treatment. Relying on pseudo-medicines will only worsen your condition.
Rational and scientific, huh? The way I see it, you're just jealous you lost your patients.
How dare you speak to Dr. Natasha like that? Where are your manners?
Man, please think for a moment. How can you still be siding with her? That wonder medicine was working fine for us, and now it's gone because she wants it to be? How can she?
I understand your anger, but as your doctor, I ask you to trust my judgment. I will find a way to access more medical resources and help you through your struggles. If I must, I'll get help from the surface.
The surface? I almost forgot that you were an overworld big shot.
Have some respect for Dr. Natasha.
If it's respect she wants, she better find a replacement for the wonder medicine fast. If not, I'll tell everyone about how she set up Dr. Vash. I'm out of here.
I wish you all a journey that is free of illness. Oh, you're here. I apologize. That must have made for uncomfortable viewing. I'm okay. If I were in his shoes, I may well have had the same reaction. Now I need to focus on treating the patients and dispelling their doubts. Let's leave it for now. I'll feel a lot better once I've gotten rid of this mess that Vash left us. Now's as good a time as any to tell you Vash's whole story. If there's anything you want to know, don't hesitate to ask. No, but I used to think we were so close that we may as well have been. I, actually grew up in the orphanage. It wasn't until I was adopted by an overworld family that life changed for me. My adoptive mother always saw me as her own flesh and blood, and Vash loved me like a sister. That is while we were still young. My adoptive parents belonged to a prominent medical family. As kids, we were exposed to all kinds of medical texts. When we were older, both of us got straight into Belobog's medical school. We were on a path into the medical profession. He was gentle and introverted. But when it came to work, he could be absurdly obsessive, like a completely different person. Whenever I made a mistake in an experiment, he'd bite my head off. And then a while later, he'd apologize and comfort me. He was conflicted in that way. I didn't know he had leftover reagents in Rivet Town. I was shocked when you told me. If you fail to make a clean break with the past creeps up on you. That's a long story. Ever since he was little, Vash had always wanted to develop a medicine called blizzard immunity. He saw the human body's vulnerability to cold as a disease, and wanted to cure it so that humanity could survive the eternal freeze. If he succeeded, people would be able to leave Belobog and rebuild their homes in the snow plains. I do admire his vision and perseverance, even though blizzard immunity always seemed unachievable to me. I knew his research in the overworld wasn't going well. I used to write to him and ask him to come down and stay with the kids in the orphanage for a while. I thought it might help take his mind off his research. But I was too young to know what long-term frustration could do to a person. It changed him in a terrible way. During his stay in the underworld, he met patients affected by fragmentum corrosion with mild symptoms. Compared with non-patients, their bodies reacted differently to hot and cold. And that fascinated Vash. He began to simulate mild fragmentum corrosion, thinking that it could lead to breakthroughs in developing blizzard immunity. Those reagents of his aren't cure-alls for critical illness. That doesn't exist. Vash made the reagents to mitigate the suffering of his patients in the short term. A convenient way for him to observe changes in his test subjects. But behind my back, he had been doling out the reagents to residents who were kept in the dark. When it finally struck me that something was wrong, his terrible research had already turned him into a madman. Indeed. And it all happened under my nose. How ridiculous. My judgment was clouded by trust in a loved one. When his experiments were exposed, I spent a long time with Oleg discussing how to handle the aftermath. This was shortly before the underworld was sealed off. There were hardly any Silvermane guards remaining. We spent ages trying to find a way to handle Vash. In the end, Oleg suggested that we banish him and permanently deny him access to the underworld. Had his victims found out the truth, Vash would have been torn to pieces by furious underworlders. I was young and weak at the time. Oleg must have worried about how I'd react to such a scenario, or he wouldn't have suggested banishment. Looking back, it wasn't. He deserved much worse. Oleg and I took Vash to the overworld. He made his final request to us. To take him outside the city to the snow plains he'd always wanted to conquer. His figure gradually disappeared into the snow curtain. I've been telling myself that Vash is dead ever since. Forgive me. I'm not good at telling stories. Vash was a terrible brother and a worse doctor. That's all you need to know. Let's call it a day. Thank you for cleaning up the mess my brother left behind. Here, for your trouble.
Haven of memories. Every touch, every moment is like a thorned rose.
Weather's pretty nice.
Where did they get to? Ah! Speak of the devil. I was just wondering when you might show up. Don't worry, there's enough to go around. On the house, order whatever you like. There's something I need your help with. I had to make it up to you somehow. Looks like we're not the only ones who wanted afternoon tea today, though. We'll have to stand up for the time being. Don't drink too much, or you won't be able to sleep tonight. Anyway, about the something I needed your help with. Don't get ahead of yourself. This might be more how can I put this? If I remember correctly, you, March, and Don Hong came here on that train. The Astral Express, right? I was wondering, is the train accepting new passengers? I guessed as much. You see, there's not much left for me here except to carry on repairing equipment in the workshop. I like practicing the guitar, and performances are fun, but the crowds are pretty small. Besides, I'm a researcher. How could I not get excited about the chance to explore new worlds up close? Everyone gets tired of living in small places like Bellabog after a few years, right? Okay, I'm counting on you. I know this is a lot to ask out of the blue, so apologies in advance. This is a pretty big ask.
There goes Serval. I better send Himiko a text and ask about the request. Or I guess I could ask Mr. Yang? Or Pom Pom? Who's the best one to ask? Let's send a message to Mr. Yang.
come around and have a look.
You should go and talk to Lady Bronya, Serval. It was her personal invite, after all.
I know. Let me think about it. Huh? You're just in time. Any news yet?
Perfect timing. Please, talk some sense into her.
I knew it. Hey! You're taking his side already?
Serval, I understand your reluctance to rejoin the Silvermane Guards. But Lady Bronya values your talent, and she sees how much you could contribute to the rejuvenation of Belobog. So I came to talk to you about it. In any case, you should at least pay her a visit.
Okay, I get it. I'll make a trip to Klipoth Fort and tell Bronya what I really think. Sorry, I need to get this over with. Let me know what they said when I get back.
Same old Serval. Join the Express? I see. No wonder she seems so flustered. So, that's what's on her mind. Sorry, my head's still in the argument. It's like this. As you know, my sister used to be one of the research team leads in the Silvermane Guard's technology division. Stellarons were her main area of research. But her expertise went far beyond Stellarons. She was, and still is, well-versed in mechanical engineering and other fields. Immediately after her succession, Lady Bronya set her sights on Serval's talents. The Supreme Guardian wants her to resume her technological research and be a shining light for the revitalization of Belobog. However, you saw her attitude just now. I doubt her meeting with Lady Bronya will change anything. It'll probably just leave them both feeling dejected. I think there's more than one element to it. My intuition tells me this is mostly linked to Madame Cocolia's passing. That's true, but... never mind. It's just a personal hunch. I've never been good at reading my sister's mind. I can tell the two of you have a close bond. If you get the chance, see if you can persuade her to open up about it. Hand on heart, I wouldn't want to see her sitting behind a desk in Klipoth Fort and sighing all day either. Belobog is too small a place for a mind as inquisitive as Serval's. Maybe it would be better for her to join you on your journey. I'll admit, I'm a little worried about how she plans on getting all this across to Lady Bronya. Are you busy? Let's go and wait for her in front of Klipoth Fort.
You know what I mean.
Doesn't seem like they've finished talking yet. I hope it's not turning into a shouting match. Let's go in.
I understand your circumstances, Serval. I respect your choice. It was my mistake to make an unwarranted request without considering your own wishes. Allow me to offer you my apologies. I hope you don't take this matter to heart.
No need, Bronya. You're a Supreme Guardian now. Don't let a little thing like this... Besides, I'm the one who should be apologizing. I've put my own personal reasons ahead of Belobog's reconstruction.
I get it, Serval. After all, you and Mother... Sorry, I don't mean to open up old wounds. But there's something I need to ask you. This guitar, I found it after going through Mother's old things. She was never a music lover, so I thought this might be connected to you.
Cocolia, you...
Huh?
It's nothing. You're right, it does belong to me. In fact, it once belonged to me and Cocolia. It was our shared treasure. If you don't mind, Rania, could I take it back to the workshop?
Of course. I'm sure there's a story behind it. But that's between you and Mother. I won't pry. I hope you have an amazing journey, Serval. Do remember to visit home when you get the chance.
I will. Thank you, Rania. I assume you heard our conversation just now. I didn't expect her to be so open-minded. And she didn't even try to persuade me to stay. She didn't summon me just to return the guitar, did she?
I wouldn't rule it out. She's good at reading people's minds. She would have known that you'd never set foot in Clopoth Fort voluntarily.
After all these years, I never thought I'd set eyes on this guitar again. Guess we're stuck with each other. Well, it'll take a while to tell. When we were in cadet school, Cocolia and I were notoriously disruptive. We were always coming up with the next crazy invention. We called it exploring the infinite possibilities of new technologies. This guitar was one of those inventions. Cocolia came up with a name. The Super Electromagnetic Flux Player, or electric guitar for short. Not really, no. She was a military history major, very different from what I was doing. Still, we hung out every day. It's only natural that my love for inventing would rub off on her. I told you it'd take a while to tell the story. Let's get back to the workshop first. By the way, want to help me pack my bags? Huh? That melody.
That's one of yours, right?
I didn't think many people liked that one. Seems the city might have a few nice memories of me after I'm gone. Well, it's getting late. Let's head back. Now, what am I gonna call this new song? There's no place like home. I never feel completely free out there. Chapard, can you lend your dear sister a hand? Help me pack my bags.
Am I allowed to refuse? This place, just looking around gives me a headache.
Okay, I promise this is the last time. I'm about to go traveling with him. Who knows how long it'll be before I can visit home again. You should help me pack while you still have the chance.
Fine. I'll give you a hand.
You just need to make yourself at home. You've done plenty of work already. Since you're so curious, I'll give you the whole story. This guitar was actually given to me as a birthday present by Cocolia a long time ago. I came up with the design, but I was never able to build it. Some of the raw materials were either too expensive or too hard to get a hold of. She helped me turn the concept into reality. Quick as lightning, always keeping her word. That was her way of doing things. Back then, I thought we'd be friends for life.
If it was a gift, why was it in Madame Cocolia's office?
I don't think anyone realized, but back then we were so close we didn't even differentiate between each other's possessions. We shared pretty much everything. We lived in the same dormitory, went to the same school together every day, ate together, whiled away the time together, and occasionally talked about music together, though it wasn't something she was overly familiar with. That's how things were until the day we fell out. A lot of our shared possessions never left her office again. I was always looking forward to the day she'd return this guitar. I thought that would be the day we could bury the hatchet. Now that I think about it, perhaps I was too naive. She'd probably forgotten it even existed. And that's the only Cocolia you guys ever got to know, huh? Always ahead of everyone else, never looking back, even for a second. She put it all out of her mind. Me and every memory to do with me. I know, but that's what makes it harder.
Let bygones be bygones, sister.
How did the conversation get so heavy again? No good. Let's talk about something interesting. You know something, Japard? That guitar case in your hand and my guitar? They're both from the same prototype. The Super Electromagnetic Flux Player.
I never knew your guitar had a connection to me, too. Quite the story.
Well, let's see. Ah, yes. Silvermane Guard's standard issue portable heater. It's broken, though.
It's a family heirloom. It belonged to Rhonda once. You should take care of it.
I wanted to keep it with me. But that's the problem with old things. The less you use them, the easier they break. Besides, no one's paying me to fix it, right? Hey, wait a minute. Didn't I teach you a few machine overhaul skills? Want to practice on this old antique?
Here we go again. You don't have to do everything she tells you.
The principle behind this machine and the one you fixed when you first came to the workshop is the same. You'll understand when you see it. So, I'll leave this one to you. In return, how about I tell you the backstory behind it? Think about it.
Well done for putting up with her for this long.
Job. Like I said, a reliable apprentice. As promised, let me tell you the story behind this little heater. Its original owner was an ancestor of the Landau family, Rhonda Landau. She was one of our great heroes who participated in the defense of Belobog 700 years ago. The records tell that during the decisive battle, she led 2 Silvermane Guard brigades. She engaged the enemy for 4 full days and nights in the fight for the city. I still have the newspaper clippings from that time. I'll show you when I get the chance. Of course. After all, she was a Landau.
Take responsibility for your choices and the people of Belobog. Every Landau is driven by that ethos.
Oh, that's a letter I was gonna send to my mom. I haven't even finished writing it. There's nothing personal in it. Have a read if you like.
You're still writing to Mom and Dad?
Only to Mom. You know, I still don't get along with Dad.
You know, Serval, if you're really leaving Belobog for a while, you should pay them a visit first.
I'll think about it.
And I thought I was messy.
Looks like Japard's got his work cut out for him.
Now, what am I gonna call this new song? Oh, that? It's a botanical specimen. Little Lynxie sent it during one of her research trips. As for the name, I can't quite recall.
Snowman's Palm. And Little Lynxie is the youngest sister of the Landau family, by the way.
Ah, yes. Snowman's Palm. My memory's the worst.
It's the only plant here that looks like it's still alive.
Hey, watch it! Anyway, this specimen means a lot to me, so I'm bringing it with me. Thanks for the reminder. That should be everything. You're here! Come on, let's gossip. Finally. I think I must have left cadet school with about the same amount.
No easy job. Serval, I want to ask you again. Do you really want to leave Belobog and go with the Trailblazers?
Of course. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I can't miss it. What's wrong, Japard? Oh, I see. Can't let go of your dear old sister, huh?
Forget it. I don't want to complicate things for you. But before you leave, I have one last request to make. The garrison is heading down to the underworld soon, to survey the situation around Boulder Town. Why don't you come with me?
Huh? You just said you didn't want to complicate things for me, and now you're sending me on a mission. Aha! You just want to spend as much time as possible with me before I go, right?
No, it's not that. I've heard there are a lot of old energy hubs in the underworld, and you're probably the only person in Belobog who knows how to inspect them. Since you're leaving one way or the other, why don't you do the people of the city one last favor before you go?
Even at a time like this, you're still thinking about the people. I don't know what to say. All right, I'll help you out. The first and last time the Landau siblings will work together.
Thanks, sis. If you have the time, could you accompany the garrison? You're Belobog's hero. I'm sure you must be popular in the underworld. The Silvermane Guards will face less resistance if you come with us. Thanks. I'll contact you when the guards have finished their preparations.
I'm tired of packing. Let's leave it here for today. Thanks for your help. Oh, I drank all the tea. Why am I getting sleepy?
You're here. Thanks again for agreeing to this. They're behind us. If negotiations go well, then Dunn will lead them down into the underworld. He's a very capable sergeant. Upright, plain-spoken, a model Silvermane Guard. I assume you remember him. You and Serval subdued him in the Silvermane Guard restricted zone. I think he was out cold for most of the action. The conflict was a product of the situation, I understand. Not to mention, he wasn't in bad shape when we found him. Thank you for holding back. Don't worry, the hard work is already behind us. The highest priority for today is establishing good negotiations with the Chief of Wildfire. I'm about to get that process underway. Serval was a little delayed on the way over, but that doesn't affect our schedule. Let's set off.
Huh? Oh, hold up. I wasn't that late.
You weren't that early either. Still, I don't blame you. You hadn't seen Mom and Dad in a long time. I'm glad you managed to speak to them.
We didn't speak all that much. You know how it is. I can only talk to Dad for so long before I start losing it.
I know how it is, all right. Put that to one side for now. We need to get going. Negotiations will be held in the Boulder Town Clinic. Serval and I are newcomers, so you'll have to lead the way. The underworld isn't exactly how I remember it.
Feels like we're not getting many friendly looks, huh?
Well, well, well.
I don't think our little clinic has ever played host to an occasion like this.
We meet again, Mr. Oleg.
Oleg will do, son. Oh, you. You probably won't know. Our young Silvermane friend here and I had the pleasure of speaking to each other at a certain Guardian succession ceremony. We're not complete strangers. But as for this young lady...
The name's Serval. I'm, an ex-engineer from the technology division and... Japard's sister? Pleasure to meet you, Chief.
Likewise, miss. The more the merrier. And it's good to have you here again. It bothered me and Natasha that we never arranged a formal welcome for you. Once we're done talking, you must all join us for a meal.
We'd be honored. But to your point, Oleg, let's finish our discussions first.
Quite right. Let's head inside. Too much commotion out here.
So she's your sister. The Landau family is full of talented young people, I see.
You're worried that Underworlders might still hold a grudge against the Silvermane guards. So you want to show your solidarity with the Trailblazers to build some trust. Seems like a sound strategy to me.
Rebuilding trust between the two worlds has always been a priority for Lady Bronya. People here must have felt abandoned by the guards after the passage was sealed off. If we were to simply take over the Underworld in the name of the Supreme Guardian, I can only imagine how people would react.
Seems like you have a good handle on the situation. I see now why you made captain at such a young age.
So, you're also saying the guards want to work with Wildfire and use our reputation to win back people's support, correct?
I wouldn't use those exact words, but that is more or less what we want to achieve.
If that's the case, I've got a question for you. Since this offer comes from those who left us to our fate for more than a decade, how would you react if Wildfire refused? Would you use force?
She's not trying to be diplomatic about it, is she? Stop stoking the fire.
The barrier between the surface and the underground was the product of the former Supreme Guardian's misjudgment and the policies that resulted from it. The people of Belobog should have stood together, but instead, we were made to blame and hate one another. Lady Bronya wants Belobog to heal, so the Silvermane guards need to regain the people's trust. But we won't achieve that by kicking doors open and policing everyone around. As a grassroots organization, Wildfire did an extraordinary job maintaining order for over a decade in the absence of the guards. I can only imagine how much work you put in to protect the underworld. I can assure you that the guards are not here to seize power. If it takes time for the people to trust us, so be it. We're willing to take small measures and serve as an auxiliary force to Wildfire to help maintain peace. I hope you can see that everything we do to rebuild trust and make Belobog work for all.
I swear, he never used to be this emotionally intelligent.
That's an answer I can accept. Oleg, what do you think?
I think there's no need for the guessing game to continue. It's obvious we share the same goal. With the help of Bronya, Serval, and Japard, we're one step closer to rebuilding a united Belobog.
I agree. Tell Bronya that Wildfire will work with the Silvermane guards on security matters. However, things aren't simple down here. Please also tell her to draw up plans in case the situation demands...
Monsters! Monsters from the Fragmentum! They're swarming toward the town!
Not good. Stay here, Natasha. The patients need you. The soldiers and I will handle this.
Understood. We'll be counting on you.
Everyone rushed outside. I should probably see what's happening. Please stay tuned.
Please, help my friends! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you all.
What happened? Take a breather.
The monsters invaded the mine. Please, you have to save my friends. Otherwise, those things would tear them apart.
Don't worry. The Silvermane guards are trained for these situations. Where do we find them?
The Great Mine! The one with the big ore vein!
Understood. I'll send my men to set up a perimeter and start the rescue operation right away. Mr. Oleg, please entrust the Silvermane guards with the rescue. The defense of Boulder Town will need Wildfire's expertise. Watch out for ambushes and be ready to receive wounded soldiers.
Ha! You're a natural-born commander. Understood. Leave it to me, son. Your troops will be unfamiliar with the layout of the mine. I'll send some of my men to be your guides.
Thank you. In the name of the preservation, I promise we'll do everything we can to save lives. I'll go on ahead and lead the troops to the mine. Catch up to us when you can.
I couldn't get a word in while they were talking. A duty-bound soldier and a resistance leader. It's hard to be rock and roll in front of people like that. You know, maybe I need to put my inner struggles in a broader context. My own way? I don't even remember what kind of life I want. It's just... I see people fighting for their lives, and here I am thinking about how to escape. I feel guilty about that. Wait a minute. Was that Japard's plan all along? Use guilt to make me stay? That's true. Anyway, since he asked for help, it's time to give those monsters a shock. You know the way to the Great Mine, right? Let's catch up with Japard when you're ready. That's all you needed to say. Let's go.
Put all artillery units on standby. Wait for my command to bombard enemy positions and cover our infantry advance. We have a choke point here. Tell all infantry units to switch to double line formation. Close quarters in front, gunners behind. Remember, get the wounded out as soon as possible, and always secure your flanks before advancing.
Yes, sir!
Ah, you're here. Get ready. We need to help the infantry lines drive deep into the mine. The back of the mine has been secured, which gives us a forward base to send in supplies. The Silvermane Wildfire Combined Regiment is conducting rescue missions as they advance. The battle is fierce. I need to get to the front line. I'll leave the command post to my officers.
I don't know much about warfare, but I don't see why a commander needs to lead the charge. The situation here is totally different from the restricted zone. Japard, let me and him clear the way for you. You should stay in your command post.
Thanks, Serval. but please trust my judgment on this. I made a promise to Mr. Oleg to save as many people as possible. I have to see to it myself.
There's no stopping you once you've made up your mind. Fine. We'll do it your way.
Let's move out. We need to clear a way for Wildfire and the guards. All civilians, please go to the bridge immediately. The Silvermane guards...
There's a monster heading this way.
Bring it down.
Take your positions. Let's improvise.
I'm asking questions. Answer me.
On the still waters of Oblivion.
Dreams do come true.
Your answers? Test. 0 points.
Step up, let's see.
It made it easy for us, but we can't let our guards down. It's safe here. Let's move on.
Stream forward. The gleam of old blades.
Japard, look. The miners have put up a makeshift defensive line.
Are you?
That's right. We're evacuating the miners together with Wildfire. Are there any other civilians up ahead?
The Silvermane guards and Wildfire are working together now? Oh, civilians. Ah, I saw a girl run out from our defensive position just now. My brother went after her, but they haven't come back.
Understood. I'll bring them back. The guards and Wildfire have set up defenses on the bridge. You should head over.
Thank you. Please, bring them back to safety.
Oh no! Monsters are coming this way!
Leave the battle to us. You need to fall back.
Okay. Thank you for saving us.
Decided to play your ace, huh?
SAS. Knowledge, the measure of truth, and falsehood.
The mood is set. Let the show begin! Stay in. Let's improvise.
0 points.
Nice, my friends. Indulge yourselves!
Your answers? Test.
Oh!
The waters of Oblivion. I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
Step up, let's see ya.
Take your dreams do come true.
Answer me.
Destined for Oblivion.
Let's improvise.
Nothing. Test.
Stay in step.
Nice, like my friends. Indulge yourselves! Gonna keep going? If not, I'll catch it.
I'm asking questions. SAS. Knowledge, the measure of truth, and falsehood.
Take your positions. Dreams do come true.
0 points.
Still waters of oblivion.
Your answers? Test.
Let's keep searching for the missing girl and the miner.
Is it me or is it cold here?
Stream forth the gleam of old blades.
Decided to play your ace, huh?
Let's improvise.
Nice psychic, my friends. Indulge yourselves!
The mood is set, just let the show begin!
Essay knowledge, the measure of truth and falsehood.
In the mood for another beating?
I'm asking questions. Answer me. 0 points.
I weep for the departed. It too shall fall. That's half destined for oblivion. Another blood debt repaid. Gleam of old blades.
Decided to play your ace, huh?
Stay in step. Dreams do come true.
Still waters of oblivion.
Take your positions.
Nice psychic, my friends. Indulge yourselves!
Let's improvise.
It ain't over.
Your answers?
I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
Answer me. 0 points.
That's half destined for oblivion.
Dreams do come true.
I'm asking questions. Test. Essay as knowledge, the measure of truth and falsehood.
You two, it's too dangerous here. Find the Silvermane guards and Wildfire at the bridge. They'll protect you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Zeno, take my hand. Let's get out of here.
It's so cold here. I'm scared.
The monsters have gotten stronger somehow. I don't remember them being this difficult.
Thank goodness we got here in time. If we'd arrived any later...
That's one brave little girl. You were like that at her age, too.
Huh? I wouldn't go that far. I only had Dad to deal with. He could be fierce, but nothing like the monsters here. Besides, my problem with him wasn't that he was a strict father. I just couldn't believe that he never lifted a finger to oppose Cocolia's order to seal the passageway. Vowing to protect the Underworlders in one breath, and then deciding they deserve to be abandoned in the next? Family code of conduct. What a joke.
Father was a soldier. He wasn't supposed to question the orders from his superiors. Never mind. I know I sound like I'm defending him, and I don't want to make you angry. At least now we've got the chance to right the wrongs.
I'm angry just thinking about it. Looking back, I'm glad I left home early.
Running away doesn't solve the problem. It's been ages since you two had those fights, but you still can't let it go. You need to walk out of his shadow. I'm not trying to change your mind. I just want to know that your choice to leave this planet is a result of having thought things through. Not because you're trying to run away from something.
My choice.
Sorry, I sound like Dad.
Don't worry about it. I get what you're trying to say. I do. It's just... I need some time. Let's focus on the business at hand. That miner we met said his brother came this way. We should look around.
Okay. Be careful, though. I sense a drop in temperature. Something's not right. It could mean something we haven't encountered before is waiting for us. Stay on your toes.
These monsters are tough. I need to find those kids.
Hey, did you just scare off a Fragmentum monster?
Kind of. There was one on its own. I managed to chase it away. Speaking of which, you came from that direction, right? To see two little kids, a girl and her brother? Ah, thank goodness. I chased the monster too far and lost him.
They'll be okay now. You should head back to the bridge, too. The guards and Wildfire have set up a safe zone there.
Thank you, all of you. I'm just glad they're okay. I can finally retreat as well. I heard there's a powerful monster down the road, some kind of leader of the pack. I'd take caution.
Thanks for the intel. We'll be careful. I think he was right about the monster. You two, no sudden moves. I've seen this type of monster a few times near the restricted zone. Wait, don't get too close. Something's not right.
Huh? What is it?
These monsters are usually eager to fight. You're guaranteed a fierce battle if you see one in the Fragmentum. But this one doesn't seem concerned about us. This could be a trap. I'm not sure either. I just have a feeling that something's different.
The air... it's so cold.
Stellaron promises Serval.
Did it just talk?
Steady. Get ready to counter its attack.
Can Japard not hear that?
Japard, Serval, Londo.
Did it just say Japard and Serval?
That noise! Do Fragmentum monsters usually sound like this?
Talking? I just hear white and wait. You understand it?
Our names? What's happening here?
I heard rumors about this kind of monster. Shadows in the Fragmentum that assume human form are echoes of the will of past guardians. If the rumors are true, could it be?
Kalia. You just won't stop haunting me. I try everything to put the past behind me, and yet you always manage to creep up again. Kalia, you witch! You terminated my research and ruined my life. What else do you want to take away from me?
Calm down, Serval. It's just a Fragmentum illusion.
All that time we spent together. Was any of it real? It was so easy for you to just leave this world behind. Don't you at least owe me an explanation?
Serval!
Londo, stand down. There is no place for you. The promised new world.
Sister, I know you want Madame Cocolia to respond. But this thing in front of us is our enemy. It was born out of the evil gathered in the Fragmentum. You won't get answers from it. Fight with us, sister. Let's dispel the shadow of the past once and for all. Of course, if you're not yet able to confront the past, then he and I will fight for you until your heart is ready.
You two. I'm sorry, brother. I always make you worry when things get serious. But I see what you're doing. Reverse psychology, huh? Well, seeing as we've come this far, Cocolia, let's settle this bad blood right here, right now.
Decided to play your ace, huh?
Stay in step. Dreams do come true. Still the same one.
Just 0 points. Nice like a good brew. Full-bodied and sweet, my friends. Indulge yourselves!
The mood is set. Let the show begin!
Another journey between waters of oblivion. I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.
Serval. 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 Why do you always have to stand in my way?
The temperature is returning to normal. The monsters are retreating. I think it's safe to say that the shadow of Madame Cocolia was the reason for this invasion. The other anomalies we experienced were probably also a direct result. Whatever the case, we've managed to avert a crisis. Are you okay? Indeed it was. We're lucky to have an experienced fighter like you who can adapt to different enemies. It would have taken us much longer to fight off the shadow without you. Serval, how are you feeling?
I feel like something heavy has finally been lifted. All that noise before it perished. Did you catch what it said? I see. You really made no effort to correct your mistakes, Cocolia. Anyway, it doesn't matter anymore. From here on out, I'm over that woman.
I can tell you mean it this time. I'm happy for you, Serval. It's not easy to truly put the past behind you. Looks like we accomplished our mission. I need to get back to the guards and Wildfire to wrap things up. You two should head over to Natasha's place and check in on the wounded.
Sure. Come find us later at the clinic. Let's leave Japar to his business and head back to town.
<sighs>
It's getting late. Where to now?
I wish you all a journey that is free of illness. I see. Thanks for bringing me up to speed. The clinic has been busy while you were gone. We've treated many people, soldiers and civilians alike. All in all, I owe everyone a big thank you. It would have been much harder if Wildfire had operated alone. Thanks to Captain Japard, we managed to keep our losses to a minimum. I'm sure people will begin to appreciate the Silvermane Guards after this battle. How could I forget about you two? We couldn't have done it without your help.
You're too kind. They deserve the real credit. I doubt I'd have come back in one piece without them.
Sounds like you went through a lot of danger. Are you hurt, Miss Serval? I can have a look if you like.
I'm alright, don't worry. Everything worked out eventually. Let's wait for the rest of them to get back.
Miss Natasha, we've returned.
Is that Japard?
Mr. Oleg has a pretty good handle on what's needed in the mine. He's arranging for rescue teams and supplies to be sent over. He won't be back for a while.
Looks like you guys have the situation under control. Thank you. I'd love to sit down and chat with all of you, but I still have a backlog of patients to see. Oh, there was a girl and her brother who said you saved their lives. You might want to check on them and see how they're doing.
Natasha's right. We should make sure those children are all right.
Come on, drink it up and you'll feel better.
But there's smoke coming out of it.
It's you. You saved us from the monsters in the mine. You guys are Silvermane Guards from the overworld, right? If you hadn't been there, we would have... I'll think of a way to repay you. I'll get a job and... That's very kind of you. If Mom and Dad were still here, they'd want us to return the favor.
Mom and Dad went somewhere far away a long time ago. Haven't come back yet.
They'll come back one day, Zeno.
So, you're looking after your brother on your own?
Not really. It's my responsibility as a sister. I'm just worried that with all these monster invasions, maybe one day I won't. My brother is too young to survive in the underworld. To think he might have to live on his own.
The misjudgment of the former Supreme Guardian isolated the underworld for more than a decade. With that isolation came tragedy. But under Lady Bronya's leadership, the Silvermane Guards will atone for past mistakes and bring relief to the people. From now on, you don't need to worry about the safety of your family.
Captain Japard.
Taking care of yourself is hard enough under these circumstances, let alone if you have a brother to look after. I know it can't have been easy. Zeno, right?
Yes, Mr. Captain.
You're still young, so you need to stay under your sister's wing. But when you grow up, remember to use what you've learned to protect her. Be there when she needs you, and listen to her when she feels vulnerable. She'll do the same for you.
Okay, sir. I'll protect my sister when I grow up.
Thank you, Captain Japard. Zeno and I will remember your words.
You know, we're pretty good at turning a happy reunion into a tear fest. Let's call it a day and give them some room. If you're not too tired, Japard, can I talk to you for a moment? What you said back there, did you really mean it?
Of course I did. And it wasn't some last-minute speech I cobbled together. It's how I always felt. We can't always face problems alone and build walls to keep people out. We need to learn to rely on others. Especially those we care about the most.
I know what you're up to, Jeppy.
Huh? What do you mean?
You made it sound like you were talking to those kids. But you were talking to me. Who's building that wall now?
Well, a Landau just called out a Landau.
Japard. I changed my mind. Change of plan. I've decided to stay in Belobog.
Serval, I just want you to know that I would have supported your decision, no matter what you chose. I wasn't trying to force you to stay.
I know that, Japard. Don't worry. I've thought this one through for a change. What you said was the last piece of the puzzle for me. I suddenly realized that my decision to leave was just me trying to run away from my problems. Wasn't a mature decision. I've always found it hard to handle complex relationships. Be it Cocolia or my family. The first thought I have when things don't work out is to run away. Starting from today, that's no longer the case. After all, I'm not doing this on my own, right?
Right.
If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have had any idea about the hardships people were going through in the underworld. It made me feel like maybe I could help a little and make Belobog a better place. I have one last thing that I might need your help with. I want to see the Stellaron. I want to see the place where Cocolia sacrificed herself.
Say no more. We'll go with you.
Oh, but before that, I need to go back to the workshop and get something. Why don't you head north first and we'll catch up with you? It's all right. I've got Japard with me. We'll be safe.
It's getting late. Where to now?
Come around and have a look.
You're here. Come on. It's cold here. Is this the Stellaron imprisonment device? They had such advanced technology back in the day. Impressive.
This is where Madame Cocolia died.
She gave something back in death. I wanted to come here to perform for Kokolia. To say goodbye. I'm glad you guys are here to witness it. Not the nicest spot for a show. And the equipment could be better. Sorry about that.
The stage is yours, sister.
Look at me, Kokolia. Don't you dare look away. Because I will no longer live in your shadow!
Happy?
Happy. I just wish I could have seen the look on her face. Shame. Well, that's all from me. Thanks for sticking by my side throughout all of this. As for tonight, let's go to old Gerda's place and have a big feast to celebrate.
So, you're getting the tab?
Stream 4.